We are going to start our second unit, that is promotion of a venture. Welcome to this comprehensive guide on venture capital. Understanding the meaning of opportunity analysis. The opportunity analysis involves the detailed analysis of the process in which the business happens. An entrepreneur is a person who foresees the opportunity and tries to explore it by introducing a new product, a new method of production, a new market, a new source of raw material, and a new combination of factor of production. The market opportunity analysis is a tool to identify and assess the attractiveness of the business opportunity. Opportunity analysis is the strategy of assessing the potential for a change or enhancement to enhance the generation of the revenue. The type of opportunity will vary from small chances within a current production model that leads to expense reduction or increase overall efficiency to the launch of new product lines that will increase profitability for the business as a whole. External environmental analysis. This includes PESTEL analysis. PESTEL analysis stands for political, economic, social, and technological, environmental, and legal analysis. It is a part of the external analysis when conducting a strategic analysis or doing market research, and give a certain overview of the different macro-environmental factors that the company has to take into consideration. First, political factor. This implies how and to what degree a government intervenes in the economy. Especially, political factor includes areas such as tax policy, labor law, environmental law, and trade restrictions, tariffs, and political stability. Second, economic factor. It includes economic growth, interest rate, exchange rate, and the inflation rate. These factors have a major impact on how business operate and make decisions. For example, interest rates affect a firm's cost of capital and therefore to what extent a business grows and expands. Exchange rate affect the cost of exporting goods and the supply and price of imported goods in an economy. Social factor. This includes the cultural aspects and include health consciousness, population growth rate, age distribution, career attitudes, emphasis on safety. Trends in social factor affect the demand for a company's product and how that company operates. For example, an aging population may imply a smaller and less willing workforce. Furthermore, companies may change various management strategies to adapt to these social trends, such as recruiting older workers. Fourth, technological factor. This factor includes ecological, environmental aspects such as research and development activity, automation, technology, incentives, and the rate of technological change. They can determine barriers to entry, minimum efficient population level, and influence outsourcing decisions. Furthermore, technological shifts can affect cost, quality, and lead to innovation. Fifth, environmental factors. This factor includes weather, climate, and climate change, which may especially affect industries such as tourism, farming, and insurance. Furthermore, growing awareness to climate change is affecting how companies operate and the products they offer. It is both creating new market and diminishing or destroying existing ones. Sixth, legal factors. This factor includes discrimination law, consumer law, antitrust law, employment law, and health and safety. This factor can affect how a company operates its cost, and demand for its product. Thank you. Legal formalities for starting a new unit. Starting a new business is not a rocket science if one keeps the basic legal requirements in mind. To present this concept, some of the main legal formalities required to start a company form of business in India are given below. There are many forms in which a business can be organized. Usually, the following models are popular. First, sole proprietorship. Second, partnership including LLP, that is, limited liability partnership. Third, company, public or it's private. While there are certain processes that are common to any form of business organization, each one of the above has certain peculiar requirements. This article analyzes the requirements for starting a company. This may vary from state to state and may change from time to time. Also, a business may require additional registration, compliance, and certifications. Some of the legal formalities for starting a new unit is given below. Incorporating your company. First, name approval. The first step in getting your company registered is the approval of name for the company. Generally, it takes about 7 days to get the approval. The following steps are required for the name approval. You have to file an application in form number first A, form number first A with the registrar of company, that is ROC of the state in which the registered office of the company is proposed to be situated. The application is to be signed by one of the promoter and must contain the following details. Minimum 2 alternative names for the proposed company, but should be definitely be indicative of the main object of the company. Justification for the name needs to be specified along with the application. Name and address of member, 7 member for public company and 2 for a private company. Authorized capital of the company, minimum rupees 5 lakh for a public company and rupees 1 lakh for a private company. Second, main objective of a company. On submitting the application, ROC scrutinizes the same and sends the approval objections in about 10 days to the applicant. Third, Director Identification Number DIN. Director for an Indian company, both Indian foreigners must register and get identification number under the new requirements. It is called Director Identification Number. The application needs to be filed online. The form along with the supporting documents, PAN card and residence proof duly attested by CA, notary or gazetted officer is to be sent to the offices designated by the respective ROCs. The fee for obtaining DIN can be deposited online or deposited in bank authorized for this purpose. Digital Signature Certificate, that is DSC. Director for an Indian company, both Indian and foreigners, are also required to get Digital Signature Certificate, that is DSC. DSC is required for all directors or authorized representative of any company as well as professionals who will sign ROC forms or documents. Memorandum and Article of Association. Why? The memorandum states the main, ancillary, subsidiary or other objective of the company. Articles contains the rules and the procedure for the routine conduct of the company. The memorandum also states the authorized share capital of the company and the names of their first directors. Memorandum and article also need to be stamped. The stamp duty depends on the authorized share capital. Then comes to patent. A patent is a set of exclusive right granted by the sovereign state to an inventor or their assignee for a limited period of time in exchange for the public disclosure of the invention. An invention is a solution to a specific technological problem and may be a product or a process. Patents are a form of intellectual property. The disclosure document. It is recommended that entrepreneur first file a disclosure document to establish a date of conception of the invention. This document can be important when two entrepreneurs are filing for patents on similar inventions. This filing date is now also relevant when there is a foreign company involved. In that instance, the entrepreneur who can show that he or she was the first one to conceive of the invention will be given the right to the patent. To file a disclosure document, the entrepreneur must prepare a clear and a concise description of the invention. In addition to the written photograph may be included. A cover letter and a duplicate are included with the description of the invention. Upon receipt of the information, the PTO, that is, Patent and Trademark Office, will stamp and return the duplicate copy of the letter to the entrepreneur, thus establishing evidence of the conception. The disclosure document is written for 2 years and then destroyed unless a patent application is filed within this time. There is also a fees for this filing, which can be determined by contacting the PTO. The disclosure document is not a patent application. Before actually applying for the patent, it is advisable to retain a patent attorney to conduct patent search. After the attorney completes the search, a decision can be made as to the patentability of the invention. Then it comes to trademark. A trademark may be a word, symbol, design, or some combination of such that it could be slogan or even a particular sound that identify the sources or sponsorship of certain goods and services. Then copyright. A copyright protects original work of authorship. Licensing. Licensing may be defined as the arrangement between the two parties, where one party has the proprietary right over some information, process, or technology protected by patent, trademark, or copyright. This arrangement, specified in a contract, requires the license to pay a royalty or some other specified sum to the holder of the proprietary rights in return for the permission to copy the patent, trademark, or copyright. Product safety and liability. It is very important for the entrepreneur to assess whether any product that is to be marketed in the new venture is subject to any regulation under the Consumer Product Safety Act. Insurance. Insurance is the equitable transfer of the risk of a loss from one entity to another in exchange for payment. It is a form of risk management primarily used to hedge against the risk of the contingent uncertain loss. An insurer or insurance carrier is a company selling the insurance. The insured or policyholder is the person or entity buying the insurance policy. The amount of money to be charged for a certain amount of insurance coverage is called the premium. When a company insures an individual entity, there are basic legal requirements. Several commonly cited legal principles of the insurance include indemnity, insurable interest, utmost good faith, contribution, subrogation, causa proxima or proximate cause, mitigation. Income tax related compliance. PAN number, that is permanent account number. After incorporation, company must obtain its PAN. For this purpose, an application needs to be filled with the Income Tax Department in Form 49A with the necessary documents. Second, TAN, that is tax deduction account number. After incorporation, company must also obtain a TAN. For this purpose, an application needs to be filled with the Income Tax Department in Form 49B with necessary documents. TAN is required for depositing of TDS and TCS. Then, value added tax. VAT registration is required for a trading business. This is to be applied for the local sales tax department in the prescribed forms along with the specified fees and necessary documents. Professional tax. It is a tax on profession, including employment. Professional tax is applicable in some states in India, and the rate of tax also varies from state to state. Service tax. Service tax is applicable on an entity which is engaged in providing prescribed services. There are more than 100 services on which service tax is currently applicable. The rate of service tax presently is 10%. Our topic is venture capital. Introduction to venture capital. Venture capital is a form of risk capital. In other words, capital that is invested in a project, in this case a business where there is a substantial element of risk relating to the future creation of profits and cash flows. Risk capital. Risk capital is invested as shares rather than as a loan, and the investor requires a higher rate of return to compensate him for the risk. Venture capital provides long-term commitment share capital to help unquoted companies grow and succeed. If an entrepreneur is looking to start up, expand, buy into a business, buy out a business in which he works, turn around or revitalize a company, venture capital could help to do this. Obtaining venture capital is substantially different from raising debt or a loan from a lender. Lenders have a legal right to interest on a loan and repayment of the capital. What kind of businesses are attractive to venture capitalists? Venture capitalists prefer to invest in entrepreneurial businesses. This does not necessarily mean small or new business. Rather, it is more about the investment aspirations and potential for growth rather than my current size. Such businesses are aimed to grow rapidly to a significant size. As a rule of thumb, unless a business can offer the prospect of significant turnover growth within 5 years, it is unlikely to be of interest to a venture capital firm. Venture capitalist investors are only interested in companies with high growth prospects, which are managed by experienced and ambitious teams who are capable of turning their business plan into reality.